إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. قال الله تعالى في القرآن العظيم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أعاذنا الله وإياكم. We start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him, we seek His forgiveness, and we seek His assistance. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil that resides within our own selves and from the bad consequences of our own deeds. Whomsoever Allah has guided, there is no one who could lead that person astray. And whomsoever Allah has left due to their own desire to be left, there is no one who could guide them after Allah has abandoned them. We bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is one, unique in His oneness, and has no partners of any kind. No sons, no daughters, no fathers, no mothers, no parents, no partners of any kind. We further bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, is His last and final messenger. At the end of a succession of messengers, starting with Adam, including people like Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, Jesus, the son of Mary, ending with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he is the last and final messenger of Allah. When I first heard this khutbah in my local mosque, or one of them, it actually offended me at first. I was actually offended by it. When I let my emotions go to the side, I started to understand that this khutbah, which I copied from a speaker by the name of Saeed Waqi, I don't know if many of you know him, Jazakallah khair, may Allah be pleased with him and accept all of his work. I copied it from him, and it is a bitter pill, if you want to say it that way. But sometimes the medicine is bitter, even though the cure may be sweet, inshallah ta'ala. So when we listen to this hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we actually apply it individually to ourselves, it will collectively affect our community, inshallah. Because if we're going to sit here and listen to this hadith and worry about other people and start going, yeah, well, I know someone like that. Well, I know someone like that. Then we're not going to fix ourselves, because once we blame someone else, the responsibility is lifted from us. So we need to look at ourselves. Instead of saying, I know someone like that, we need to be asking ourselves, am I like that? This hadith is in the collection of At-Tabarani, and this is part of a longer hadith. I'm going to talk about 6 things, inshallah. 3 things, muhlikat. 3 things will destroy us. And if you're applying that hadith to today, it is, these things are actually destroying us at this present time. SubhanAllah. It's as if Muhammad ﷺ was here with us, advising us. And we know he is buried in Medina. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. 3 things that will destroy us, and 3 things that will save us. SubhanAllah. The first thing that he mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is al-hawa al-taba', the desire that's followed. We have a trait among us now, and it is partially because of the social media, actually makes it a lot easier. We fatwa shop. As if we're going to the swap meet or to the Walmart or to a department store looking for the fatwa that suits us. So we may want a certain thing, or we may want to do a certain thing or to accomplish a certain thing, and we go to an imam, mashallah, jazakallah khair, and we ask him, Imam, is this halal for us? And he comes and gives us the proofs. And he says, no, it's not. And he gives you what Allah said, and he gives you what Muhammad ﷺ said, and he gives you what the ulama have said, he gives you what the scholars have said, he gives you what the sahaba have said, and the 4 imams have said. All of them say it's haram. We don't like it because we desire that thing. We go look for someone else. But then we change the question a little bit, so it becomes sweeter. Many of us do this, and I've seen this all over the world. Wherever I've been, we have this issue. We make the question a little bit sweeter. And it's still haram. And eventually we just take it and we say, you know what? This is 2014. This is North America. I can do whatever I want. And we take the fatwa that comes from the nafs, our own fatwa, and we apply it. And these are the things that will destroy us. Because you always get that. Eventually, that same person will come to you, or will come to us afterwards, because they applied their own ruling, and now they have this big disaster that they want to fix. And now we're supposed to come with the magic dawah dust and fix the problem. Because we take our own desires ahead of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said and what His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said. And Allah was very clear when He said, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. When they believe like you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when they're like you, when their character is like you, when their worship is like yours, when they behave like you, فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. Then, and only then will we be guided. When the ayah says, will they be guided? فَإِنْ تَوَلَّوْا. But some of us are going to turn away and fatwa shop and do whatever we want. Then Allah will suffice you for that. And we're criminals if we do that in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are differences of opinion, there's no doubt about that. But halal bayn wal haram bayn. So may Allah guide us all to allow us to apply what He wants as over what we want. And when, subhanAllah, one of the 10 things that from one of the early ulama, one of the 10 things that will bring about the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preferring what He wants over what you want, even when your desire for it is strong. If I think of that Sheikh's name, I'll mention it. It slips my mind at the moment. That's number 1. To take that desire and obey it. Number 2, to be excessively greedy. Are we like that? Excessively greedy. Meaning my $100 isn't enough. I need to try to find a way to get his $100 too. And when I do that, and I get 10 people's $100, I get $1,000, maybe I should look for a way to get someone else's $1,000. And we build things, and we chase after the dunya, and we run after it, and we are excessively pursuing it. One house isn't enough for us. We need 2. And when we get 2, we need 3. And then we need wives to go with that. We need everything that is under the heavens for us. But we forget that we're headed for a small place. A very small place. A very small hole, if you want. And that is the qubur. So we are greedy even to the point of cheating others. May Allah have mercy on us and forgive us and guide us. And if this doesn't apply to you, then mashallah, then may Allah honor you and make us like you. Because this is something that you're seeing a lot. Undercutting people. Undercutting your brother. He's selling a car for 6,000. Well, I got one for 3. Let me see if I can sell it. And you undercut him. And when Muhammad ﷺ ordered us not to do that. To undercut each other. And to go ahead and battle in the marketplace with each other. I know it's a free trade, commerce system. I know that. And you see the results of that now. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Alhaakumu takathur. Collecting wealth and collecting the property of this life has deluded us. Has deluded you. Hatta zurtumul maqabir. Until you visit the graves. So yeah, you can have that halal. No problem. If there's a halal wealth, go ahead and get that. But don't be excessive. And the way that you get wealth is to give back. Anyway. So we need to be a little bit more, less capitalistic and more generous, inshallah. Because that's one of the things that's going to destroy us. Is this excessive greed that we need to have everything. And you need to have the latest phone. So people stay outside for 12 hours at the Apple store lined up for a phone. Doesn't even work properly. And 6 months from now, they're going to have a different one. You have to line up again. For another phone, doesn't work properly. $600. Wow, mashallah. $700. $800 if you want it unlocked in Canada. Stay outside, it's cold outside. It's not even cold here. I got Muslims telling me, yeah, I lined up for 10 hours for the iPhone. How did you pray? And he gets quiet. Did you make salah? No. Allahu Akbar, Rahim. I'll tell you something, the richest person in the planet is not Bill Gates. The richest person in the planet is not Warren Buffett. The richest person in the planet is not the king of Kuwait. The richest person in the planet is the one who makes 2 rak'ah before Fajr. You want to be rich, brother? Get up 10 minutes before Fajr and make those 2 rak'ah. Khayru dunya ma fiha. Wow. So collect, but know what you're collecting and collect the right things, inshallah. Number 3, and this is a big one for us. I could actually give a lecture on all of these. Being excessively full of yourself. Do we have that? Are we... Islam is not racist, but are we racist? Brothers, getting uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable too when I heard that first. Are we racist? Do we have this in us, that we prefer a certain color over another color? When we forget that the best mu'adhin that ever walked the face of the earth was a black man. We forget that. Bilal ibn Rabah, radiyallahu anhu. If he was alive today, he would be better than anyone, lighter or darker than him. And may Allah place us with him. We forget that the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, Suhaib al-Rumi, was from the Roman people. We forget that Salman al-Farisi was another companion of the Prophet ﷺ who was Persian. And we forget about the Arab companions of the Prophet ﷺ as well. We forget that this nation is a microcosm of different cultures, colors, languages, ethnicities, and tribes. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was very clear when He said, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu. Inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. Inna Allah alimun khabir. We forget that. And we forget, most importantly, who we are obeying when we do that. Someone who Allah created from fire was the very first racist, the very first tribalist, the very first one to say, Ana khayrun min. خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. I'm better than him because you, O Allah, created me from fire and you created him from mud. And if you think of it physically, if you're looking at it just from a physical standpoint, Iblis is looking at Adam for what he is. A mud man, basically. Made from mud, clay, dust even. And him, he is made from fire. He can do many things. He fought alongside of the angels. He did many things. But the point of the matter is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave an order and Iblis disobeyed that order. If Allah wants to make someone who is made from clay better than someone who is made from fire, Allah can do it. If Allah wants to make someone who is black better than someone who is white, Allah can do it. If Allah wants to make an Arab better than a non-Arab, or an African better than an Egyptian, or an Egyptian better than an Indian, or a Mexican better than a Puerto Rican, Allah can do it. Why? Because Allah created them all. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. That the ones who have taqwa are the ones who are better in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And since only He knows who they are, then only He can properly judge. يقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Subhanallah. Now that I have talked about the things that will destroy us and that are destroying us right now, I want to talk about the things that will save us. Muji'at, the three things that will save us. Number one, the establishment of justice. This is something that we are not doing as much as we probably should be and as much as we probably could be doing. We have an issue now that everything is personal. We take everything so personal. If someone doesn't agree with us, then we have to get excited and we have to get riled up and we have to fight that person and we have to go ahead and make tafarruq in the community and we have to make a problem and we have to yell and scream and flip out because someone doesn't agree with us. I'm not praying behind so-and-so. I'm not going to that mosque. Why are you coming to the mosque anyway? So you can pray behind so-and-so? Or are you coming to the masjid to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We all like to talk about the historical difference between Ali and Muawiyah. May Allah be pleased with both of them. We argue with people about this constantly. Right? This is especially on the internet, people will start talking about Ali, and then they'll start talking about Muawiyah, when may Allah be pleased with all of them, they are better than all of us now. Anyway, both of them. Ali, of course, we know him as the fourth Khalifa. He's better than all of us walking the face of the earth at this moment right now. Muawiyah, of course, we know him as the companion of the Prophet ﷺ. He's still better than us. So we don't like to, and we shouldn't like to pick sides. It is a battle that is over, and it's a battle that is done with. And may Allah forgive them all and us, and be pleased with both of them. What we don't know, and what we don't talk about, is during that battle, Muawiyah prayed behind Ali. Did you know that? Muawiyah prayed behind Ali ibn Abi Talib. Why? Because Muawiyah respected the Khilafah. He respected that position. He respected the weight of that position. And he respected the fact that this is the leader of the Muslims. So he established justice. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu used to, and I know you guys know this story, used to support someone. He used to take care of him, basically, for the sake of Allah. And this man ended up being one of the slanderers of Aisha. Wow. Any of you have daughters, you love your daughters. I have three. I have Hafsa, I have Halima, and I have Nusayba. Three of them. And I love them dearly. And may Allah be pleased with them and all of our daughters. And our sons too. So, can you imagine if someone is going to come, especially someone who you're supporting, someone who you're taking care of, is going to come and slander your daughter publicly and accuse her of all kinds of horrid things like what they accused Aisha of, and of course Allah, gave Aisha victory over that. She didn't do any of that, radiallahu anha, may Allah be pleased with her. But there's another ayah. Because Abu Bakr, of course, like any of us would, stop giving the man. At least we go and like punch him in the mouth if someone did that. Hit him with a car. Burn his house down. Abu Bakr stopped giving him. And that's it. And Allah revealed an ayah correcting Abu Bakr about that. Why? Because you're not giving that person, you're giving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not giving the imam, you're not giving the president, you're not giving the vice president, the treasurer, you're not giving the secretary, you're giving for the sake of Allah. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا. That whatever you put forward for yourself, for the sake of Allah, you'll find it with Him. And when you give to Allah, you shouldn't have any conditions when you give to Him. Because He doesn't have many conditions when He gives to you. Imagine if you disobey Allah and Allah stopped giving you. If He was as petty as we are. So you pray late, all of a sudden you can't breathe anymore. Allah holds your oxygen away. Allah doesn't do that, so we should try our best to give for His sake, because it's His sake and His sake alone that we should be giving for. Whether it's in the masjid, whether it's in the schools, whether it's all over the community, whatever it is, give for the sake of Allah, not because you agree or disagree with someone. Because at the end of the day, the imam and the president, and the vice president, and the secretary, and the whatever, janitor, and you and I are all going to die one of these days. And then you'll go back to Allah. You won't be asked what they used to do, but you will be asked about what you used to do. So establish justice, inshallah. Number 2, to be moderate in your spending. Our spending, I should say. I remember when I was a kid, before I became Muslim in '96, we used to have birthday parties. And I remember we used to go to McDonald's. And I think the whole birthday party cost about $30, $40, the whole thing. So one time I went out and I had an event in, I don't know what city it was. But they had a hall rented out, and the hall had 2 places, like 2 rooms. So one room was our event, another room was a Muslim birthday party. And I think that hall, along with the dancing and the DJ and whatever else, thousands of dollars for one night. And if you look back on it, they probably don't remember half of that now. And this is something you shouldn't be spending on anyway. But I'm saying even in the halal, be moderate in your spending. Don't go into debt buying things. Don't have this tremendous debt. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek refuge with Allah from the burden and the weight of debt. So if you can buy it, buy it. But try to be moderate. Even in your giving, Allah said not to give everything. You should sit down degraded. Brothers, there's 2 extremes. There's people who won't give their families anything. Right? You just get like bread and tuna fish. And I actually know people like that. Bread and tuna fish, and that's it. But when it comes to the masjid, he'll give like thousands of dollars. Now, your family, you'll be questioned about them. And I'm not saying you shouldn't give to the masjid, but balance it out. Balance it out. Be moderate in your spending. Don't be crazy, making it, making it rain everywhere. Need an English to English dictionary after this, inshallah. Number 2, be moderate. Number 3, worship Allah. And worship Him in secret, where no one can see you, and as well as in public, where people can see you. Don't beautify your salah because people are looking at you. Don't beautify your recitation because people are looking at you. Worship Allah in secret in the same way that you do in private. And that's probably the most important one, because all of those others will come from that one. When the taqwa is here, in the heart, that's where it starts. And it comes out to the limbs, and it comes out to the words. And may Allah Ta'ala guide us all and help us all to be people who worship Him with sincerity. Not because other people are doing it, and may Allah allow us to give even when we don't like the person we're giving to. Because we love the one who gave us, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah allow us to establish justice even if it is against our own selves. And may Allah keep us from being full of ourselves. May Allah keep us from being excessive in collecting wealth. And may Allah save us from our desires that will destroy us. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.